Hello, it's Diana Marchand, founder of Raw Foods Made Simple, and I make healthy eating simple for busy women. It is How To Thursday today, and the video I'm doing for you today is we're going to make like a no-bake protein bar. And so you can mix so many different things in this, but I'm showing you one way, and you can definitely make it your own, as always. Okay, so I have some whole oats. These are going to be a little messy because it's not a small thing. I'm making this batch small, okay, because I like to make small batches. That's a quarter cup. Because if you make a big, large batch and you don't really like it, then you're kind of ruined all that ingredient. So start small. If you love it, double it or triple it, okay? Or if you know you're going to love it, then make it larger. Quarter cup of whole oats. You can use quinoa oats or flakes or any other kind of flake you want also. Totally optional. I have some ground flax here. So I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons almost, not completely full or heaping, of ground flax. Then I have some sesame seeds. Now you don't have to add these seeds, or you can change the seeds up, whatever you want to do. 2 tablespoons sesame seeds. I have some sunflower seeds. I'm going to use almost 2 tablespoons sunflower seeds. And hemp seeds. So I have some hemp seeds. So I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds. Oh, I forgot to spin. Well, I can use this right now. Just turn it up a bit. And then I have currants. Now you could chop up dried apricots or anything else that you want. I have some currants. You can use chopped dates, raisins, whatever. Blueberries, dried blueberries. Anything you want to use, okay? So I'm just going to go by sight here. That's 2 tablespoons, a little over 2 tablespoons, but that's, yeah, really about 2 tablespoons. Depends on how many pieces of dried fruit you want it. You can also chop apples. Add that in there, dried apples. And then I have some dehydrated buckwheat grounds. Now, you may not have these, so don't worry about it, but if someone is the person who uses dehydrated buckwheat grounds like this, they're sprouted and then nice and crunchy when they're dehydrated. So they add some texture, crunch, and some good minerals. So there we go. I am just stirring that around. The recipe will be written out at the end of this video, okay? So, a little bit of salt, pinch of salt. And then I also have some cinnamon. I love cinnamon. I love the flavor of cinnamon. So, add in some cinnamon. Now, just sprinkle in a little bit to start. You're going to be tasting this anyways, right? And I also have, so you can use some protein powder. When I was in the States one time, I picked up this raw meal. This one is chocolate flavored. You can use vanilla. I would use just a plain, no flavor, or chocolate, or vanilla is fine. I guess too. I don't like vanilla protein powder. Protein powder if you want to use it in your bars, okay? So you're going to use about, now this one, I'm not crazy about the flavor, so I'm only adding 1 tablespoon, but I suggest you guys add 2 tablespoons if you have a protein powder you really like. Of course, you can add a little more, but yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just not a huge fan of flavored protein powders. I don't know why I bought that. I guess I was on a trip and I just mixed it in a blender real quick for some healthy nutrients. But okay, peanut butter or almond butter, as I'm using, is the next ingredient. Now again here, I'm going to add this is half a tablespoon. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of this. It is kind of up to you, because if you're a fan, this adds calories, right? Of course, so the less you add, the less calories, but it does help it to stick together. So about 2 tablespoons of this, or like I said, you could use a raw peanut butter or an organic peanut butter. Absolutely use that. Okay, so this is extremely messy, but what you're going to do is, I'm going to pause the video and finish it because it takes a little while. So you see it's all lumpy all over the place. That's the almond butter. And what you want to do is you want to completely mix that in until everything's mixed in. And it will. All you do is you kind of just keep pressing it and moving it around in the oat mixture until it's all and keep taking it off the spoon like this until it's all kind of blended in. And it will. You just don't want to have huge clumps, right? You've got to get it blended, even if you want to get your fingers in there and mix it real good. Okay, I'm back. So as you can see, it's kind of all incorporated there. There is really no big, huge chunks. It's still really loose, of course. So what's going to hold it all together? Well, In this recipe, I'm using coconut oil. And you can also use date paste, which is you take medjool dates, take the pit out, soak them in hot water, drain, of course, all the hot water, blend it in a food processor or your blender until it equals a paste. Then you add that to this mixture. That's what you can blend it together with if you don't want to use the coconut oil. Okay, so I have some coconut oil here. And first of all, we've got some sweetener. I'm using some maple syrup. You can use stevia if you want. But the maple syrup is liquidy, so it's going to help it to bind too. So we have a maple syrup. You can use agave, or you can use honey. I would mix the honey in with the peanut butter if you're going to use it because it's so thick. Or you can warm it up, warm the honey up, and then it'll mix in a lot better. One thing about maple syrup is it mixes in really good because it's such a liquid. Now, I only had 1 tablespoon left. I would use about 2 tablespoons to sweeten it, possibly. Depends on what you're using too, right? Stevia, you use just a little bit. But start with a little and always add. Don't add a whole bunch at first, right? Because you're going to taste this. You can taste this anytime to see what it tastes like. And I encourage you to do that. See if you had, I also added in a little bit more almond butter. So that's not bad with just 1 tablespoon. If you're not a person who wants this sweet, then you don't need to add more probably. Now I'm going to add in the coconut oil, and what we want it is to be able to start to stick. So I know I'm going to need at least 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. Probably 3, so I'm just going to start to stir it. And then I'm pressing it kind of at the same time, so kind of pressing the mixture. Now you could also take this stuff if you have a food processor and throw it all on the food processor and then mix it that way instead of taking the time to mix it by hand, but that is up to you. That's pretty good. So what I'm going to do is add in almost another whole tablespoon of coconut oil. And that's it. They are filling. You can also bring them to work, but keep them in the fridge or the freezer because of the coconut oil. They will soften when they get hot. So they'll get really soft. So it's something you really have to eat frozen or cold. But it's something you can have at your house, and you can just, if you're getting ready for work, you can eat one while you're getting ready in the morning, and that's really fast. Or before, if your kids or if you have to go to a sporting event or something, then you can eat it and it will fill you up, believe me. Plus it's got a lot of good ingredients in it, right? Okay, so as you're going to see, this is going to be messy. Now I'm just putting, this is a little cutting board. You can put it on any flat surface cookie sheet. You can even use parchment paper, actually would be a good thing to put it on first. I just put some on there. It's really messy. And spatula. Clean off the spatula. Then stick the spatula in some water and then pat it down. You're going to shape it into like a square, rectangle, whatever. I just did a little sample thing here. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting it on here and I'm just patting it really hard because you want it to press down and all go, right? Condense. So it all sticks together. Make it as thick as you want, but watch. I wouldn't make it too thick. These are actually really filling. So like I said, I'm just doing a small amount right here just to show you. So and just shape it into the shape. You're going to cut it after. Then you just let it sit in the freezer. Well, it doesn't even take an hour. It doesn't even take half an hour, really. And then cut it on the board you put it on because you won't be able to lift it off. It'll break. Cut it and then lift the pieces off and put them on a separate sheet. I'll show you what I have done already. This is just a few. So there they are. See the bars? They do hold into little bars. So, I mean, you can make them as big as you want. This is a tiny one right here. So then, in the morning or whenever you need this snack, it's filling, then you have it there in the freezer. And it can sit on a plate covered up, or it can go, I put it in like a storage container and cover it. It can even go in storage bags, Ziploc bags or something. And it's ready for you. So thanks so much. And if you, I have some free consultations on my website if you want to call me and we can talk about your diet and see if we can get you on track and see how I can help you further if you have any questions or concerns. I also have my free smoothie challenge and some other programs that I'm doing. So check out my site at rawfoodsmadesimple.com.